What's good, everybody? It's Batman, and we're doing another Naruto reaction today, and it's going to be checking out the brain-dead, worms-infested Loko again. Yay! So, this is going to be a video of could Pain defeat every former Kage, and yes, Pain would fucking slaughter these Kages. 1v1, it's just... That's not even... That's just wrong. And even if it was all of them together, he would still shit on them. It would either be a low diff fight, or you could still even argue a no diff because just how high Pain scales. Pain's a high Kage at the end of the day. While these Kages are mid Kages, okay? Basically like Sonic tier level opponents and things like that. And we see that based upon the KCM Shadow Clone Naruto interaction. Like Naruto's able to low diff and shit on fucking the Sensory Ninja Mu. You can either deem it no diff or low diff, I don't care, but that's what he does. He just shits on him effortlessly. And then basically what's it called? You know, it would just be a million times worse with the other two. Like, the two most impressive Kages is really the Sensory one and the third right Kage. These two are pretty fucking buns. I'm just gonna be blatantly honest with you. So there's that as well. But yeah, like like the fucking Kazekage, he just gets absolutely destroyed. He's interesting because of, like, you know, you could because of like his genjutsu stuff and whatnot. But I'll say this. All Pain has to do is a fucking Shinra Tensei, and he's absolutely cooked. He could use his Rinnegan and be able to find where the clam is and see the chakra of it as well. You know, so on and so forth. So there's that too. But, you know, that's basically what you're working with. But yeah, let's get into the shit. Before I move forward, Pain, aka the passive Pains, whatever, they'd be relative to Nagato because it's literally his chakra, which we've seen Nagato to basically be blatantly over KCM and Killer B as well, just to shit on them, whatever you name it. Even when he was, like, not even at full power, you know what I mean, and at white hair, whatever, he was still dealing with them and beating them both up, you know, effortlessly. So there's that as well, but, yeah, so just saying. And then it took for, like, all three of them to fucking try to jump Nagato to win, and they were still struggling, but basically they accomplished it and they won in the end. And that's basically what you're working with. So, but Nagato's no fucking joke. He's a monster. He's literally high Kage level for a reason. He would fucking shit on these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck.
Reanimated by Kabuto's Edo Tensei jutsu are often overlooked by both casual fans and power scalers alike. Mu, Egg, and Getsu and Rasa have all earned the title of Kage due to their very unique skill sets and extremely hacked abilities, but will this be enough to take down the leader of the Akatsuki himself? In this video, we're going to find out if Pain can defeat all four of the old generation Kage at once. We're going to go into this with default battle assumptions, which means that both teams will have absolutely no knowledge on their opponent's abilities. Of course, all 6 paths of Pain will be at full power with no fatigue, and the Kage will be in their Edo Tensei states as we saw them during the 4th Grade Shinobi War. Before we begin, I'd like to ask you guys to comment your initial thoughts on this matchup down below, and if I end up changing your mind...
That's another thing, like, what the fuck did they all do against Shubaku Tensei, bro? What did they do?
Should have let me know as well, but without further ado, let's get right into the video. Second Tsuchikage Mu was commonly referred to as the Null Man or the Non-Person due to his ability to become completely invisible. When he is in this state, his chakra signature is entirely erased and he cannot be sensed nor seen. As a matter of fact, the only person to ever detect Lord Mu when he is in this state is Gaara, and that was specifically due to his ability to control the sand in the surrounding environment. However, invisibility is not the only thing Lord Mu is known for. He was actually the first person to ever master Jinton, or particle style. Even while weakened by Edo Tensei, Lord Mu's Jinton was still strong enough to equal out Onoki's, who was able to completely destroy Madara Susanoo with his own Jinton. As a matter of fact, Onoki says that Mu's Jinton is still just as strong as it was when he was in his prime. This is important because Jinton is stated to be able to destroy any ninjutsu that it comes into contact with, which is going to be very useful in the upcoming fight. Honestly, think of Mu as a stronger version of Onoki. They have a lot of things in common, such as Jinton and the ability to fly, but Mu has infinitely refilling chakra and regeneration due to the Edo Tensei jutsu. Because of their similarities, Onoki is actually considered to be the only person that can put a stop to Mu just because of how dangerous his particle style is. Even KCM-1 Naruto had a hard time putting him down. Lord Mu was able to react to an off-guard attack from him despite the fact that Naruto had downward momentum and—
It's not off-guard, he's a sensory ninja, and he literally says, oh no, and he dodges and moves out of the way, and then Naruto literally hits him right after, and Naruto literally low diffs him. Like, it's literally a low diff fight for Naruto. This is a shadow cloner, mind you. Not even a full power original user. Mid-Kage victim.
Was being boosted by the acceleration of gravity. Immediately after this, Naruto—
And mind you, these are shadow clones, which are mid-Kage level, which is insane, okay? Obviously, the original user, he'd be in the high Kage ballpark up there with Itachi, Obito, Nagitsu, things like that, whatever. You know, really fucking powerful and super fucking fast. And they would just completely no-diff these people. Like, that level of speed would just absolutely fucking slam these motherfuckers. It's not even a competition. And we've seen Nagato to be over that speed. And if we're taking full power pain, which is literally what he said, there's nothing they could fucking do. It's like, it's absolutely a slaughter fest. It's not fair at all. Like, I don't want to fucking hear it, bro. So
leaps off some of
we've even
Gaara's
seen a clone of Seijuman Naruto be able to fucking beat the third Raikage and outspeed him, whatever you name it. You know what I mean? So there's that as well. Like, it's blatantly clear what these motherfuckers are.
and attempts to charge at Mu once again. While this is happening, Mu observes Naruto's speed and says, "Dodge this, my jutsu is faster than yours," directly proving that Jinton is faster than KCM when Naruto is. Third Raikage
This man said particle style's faster, yet he says that and then he gets fucking bitched. Like, what crack are you smoking, Loko? Like, it would blow my mind if this man could actually make claims and literally prove his fucking claims. Like, this guy is so ass, bro. Let me show this shit, bro. Like, what crack is he smoking? Strike him. He misses. And mind you, then Gar does like a sandboard and then he uses that. Now, remind you, like, this is something to think about. Even if like the sand wasn't there, Naruto could literally just create a clone and replicate the same feat, or he could literally like just do a barrage of attacks and then basically just hit him and he would kill him, and just like what he did to the third Raikage. So, but just want to put that out there. But literally, look at this shit. He says use this as a whatever. He does that. He goes to attack him. He's like, dodge this, my jutsu is faster than yours. Then Naruto literally fucking extends his thing, whatever, and speed blitzes him. He fucking speed blitzes him. Look at that. Shits on him. But yet this fucking lying ass rat sophist says it's faster than Naruto's KCM form. Like, this guy is just a liar, bro. Like...
is well known to be a one-man army.
My shit's faster than you. You know, he's like, oh, guys, therefore, Mew is faster than Naruto, KCM Naruto, whatever. But literally, the following panel, he gets speed blitzed. Like, why don't you show the full fucking shit? You know what I mean? Instead of lying and using a statement to misconstrue fucking the narrative.
He took on 10,000 shinobi for 3 days straight with no food or water before he finally died. During his reign as the Raikage, he was actually stated to be the strongest shinobi from his village, which would put him above a younger version of his son, A, and Perfect Jinchuriki, B. During the Third Great Shinobi War, it's stated that Jonin A fought Minato to a stalemate on multiple occasions and that they mutually recognized each other as combatants. Of course, the encounter we see between—
That's not true. They didn't fight each other multiple times to a stalemate. Minato was blatantly over the Raikage, but he was always sparing the fucking Raikage. What crack are you on? If you read the fucking statement you just showed,
version of his son A and Perfect Jinchuriki B. During the Third Great Shinobi,
we exchanged blows several times. A noble man, a final showman, never lived. What crack are you on, bro? Like...
Or it's stated that Jonin A fought Minato to a stalemate on multiple occasions and that they mutually recognized each other as combatants. Of course, the encounter we see between these two is a little bit different. Minato is able to react to A's fastest punch and then teleport behind him where he almost kills him. Minato's kunai is inches away from A's back, yet B is able to come in out of absolutely nowhere and push A to safety before Minato can hurt him. So basically, Killer B covered a larger distance in a shorter amount of time, which means that he'd be faster than Minato. The third Raikage would scale to this tier of speed because in order to be stronger than B, he'd also have to be relative to him in speed by extension. This scaling is actually—
That's actually fucking hilarious. He's over here like, Killer Bee's faster than Minato. It's like, bitch, no. All he did was reach his fucking tentacle partial transformation to take the blow that Minato was already doing. Minato hits the tentacles instead. And what does Minato do right after? He marks the tentacle and then literally teleports behind Killer Bee and would have killed him. But then Killer Bee's like, hey, you ready to go? Whatever. And then he's like, I like you. You know, even though you're my enemy, I like you, bro. And I really don't want to kill you and shit. Like, this motherfucker is delusional, bro. Like, if Killer Bee was faster than Minato, he literally would have just killed him with his partial transformation then, right off the get. Better yet, Raikage, who's literally the strongest fucking ninja in the village. You know what? So is Killer Bee faster than Raikage too? Like, this motherfucker is so dumb, bro. Holy shit.
Supported by A's feats during the 4th grade Shinobi War, he was able to dodge KCM1 Naruto's Rasen Shuriken twice consecutively, which would imply upper end relativity. After witnessing the 3rd Raikage's speed, Naruto thinks back to his encounter with the 4th Raikage, in which he was consistently matching KCM1 Naruto's speed. This would just further cement the idea that the 3rd Raikage is on this KCM1 tier speed. Of course, the 3rd Raikage is not only very fast, but extremely durable as well. His lightning cloak was able to tank a direct hit from KCM1 Naruto's Rasen Shuriken despite having an elemental disadvantage. Once this happens, A's body seems to sustain no real damage despite the fact that he just got hit with the strongest wind release jutsu that we know of. Of course, A used to go blow for blow with the A-Tails without wearing any armor. They used to stalemate each other on a regular basis.
That's not true. It wasn't without armor. It was literally with fucking armor. Again, another nonsense, baseless claim. And to debunk what he said before, a shadow clone of Naruto and KCM is not as powerful as the original user. You know what I mean? You can say they're relative in some regard. That's perfectly fine because we literally see it based upon feats, whatever you name it. But a full power original user would be way more stronger than a fucking clone. So I'm just putting that out there. The KCM clones, the Sage Mode clones are blatantly mid Kage level tier in power and so on and so forth. They're above them, but that's basically the level of power you're working with, and they're above that as well, because Naruto's literally pooping on them every time. So, again, I don't know what the fuck this guy's on about.
It's also heavily implied that the 3rd Raikage's lightning cloak protected him from Yuki's Bijou bombs, so this dude is literally walking away from some of the strongest attacks in the entire series without a scratch. Of course, the 3rd Raikage's Hell Stab should actually be more potent than a Rasen Shuriken and a Bijou bomb because it's the only thing that could break through the lightning cloak, despite the fact that the lightning cloak is stated to withstand any type of jutsu. Second Mizukage Gengetsu hasn't really been shown to be all that physically impressive, but he was able to stalemate Lord Mu during their deathmatch, so all of Lord Mu's speed scaling should apply here because in order for them to be relative, they have to be similar in speed. However, Gengetsu is far from useless. One of his best abilities is a genjutsu that comes from his clam summoning. It creates a mirage where a fake Gengetsu stands in front of his enemies and distracts him, while the real Gengetsu is free to do whatever he wants.
Literally, A's greater than the Nine Tails at this rate, bro.
The illusion spans a very wide range and all physical attacks are useless against the fake Gengetsu. It's also stated that the illusion will never stop unless the clam is destroyed entirely. The real Gengetsu and the clam cannot be seen or sensed, and the only way it was found in the original story was when Gaara used his sand to track it down once again, similar to what he did to Mu. On top of this, the clam is pretty durable. It required all of Onuki's force to destroy it, so normal physical attacks like punches and kicks won't be enough to break it. Another one of his abilities is called the Steam Imp. It's a clone of Gengetsu that's filled up with water. Whenever the clone moves around, the water inside heats up. Eventually, the water will reach its boiling point and the clone will create a massive explosion. However, the clone will reform itself soon after and start the process all over again, basically creating an infinite cycle of explosions. Gengetsu also possesses the water gun technique, which either moves at the speed of light or a thunderbolt. The databook says both, so it really depends on your interpretation. 4th Kazekage Rasa is Gaara's father. He doesn't have as many feats as the other three because he was the first one to be sealed during the 4th grade Shinobi War. Rasa wields the magnet release Kekkei Genkai, which allows him to control the gold dust in his surroundings, similar to how Gaara controls his sand. As a matter of fact, Rasa's gold dust was able to match the power and speed of Gaara's sand on multiple occasions. However, Rasa is still not as skilled as Gaara is with his sand, because Gaara is able to outplay Rasa on multiple occasions, and at the end of their fight, Rasa admits inferiority to him. However, the speed of Rasa's gold dust would still scale to Gaara's sand, which is extremely important because Gaara was able to block the 4th Raikage's guillotine drop and Sasuke's Inton during the Kage summit. I've already demonstrated how the 4th Raikage has displayed relativity to KCM1 Naruto in speed earlier in this video, so the speed of Rasa's sand would just scale to that. On top of this, Rasa was constantly having to fight and defeat Shukaku whenever Gaara lost control of him as a child, which should cement him on this Bijou tier, similar to the 3rd Raikage. Throughout the first half of Shippuden, Pain is stated countless times to be unbeatable and invincible by the databooks and characters alike. On top of this, his powers and abilities are stated to surpass that of even Sage Naruto. Pain is one of the most popular characters in the entire series, so I'm not going to waste your time talking about his powers and abilities. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with them by now. I'm just going to go right into his scaling. Based off the statements that I mentioned earlier, I'd assert that Pain has the highest AP out of anyone else in the Akatsuki. Personally, I don't believe Pain is the strongest member of the Akatsuki. I believe that spot is reserved for either Itachi or Obito, but I do think that he hits the hardest out of anyone else in their group. I've actually seen some people claim that Pain scales to Nagato and is just as strong as him, but this is blatantly false. After witnessing what Nagato can do, Naruto heavily implies that facing the real deal is a lot more threatening than just the passive Pain. Nagato also absorbed a large but unquantifiable.
He says that because he has all the abilities in once instead of them all being spread out, and which allows you to strategize, so on and so forth, you name it. That doesn't delay the fact that, again, it's Nagato's chakra, which would just make the passive pains at least equal or relative to the original user. So it's not fucking true. And again, we see white-haired Nagato close to his original power, not even at full power, and he's able to shit on Killer Bee and KCM Naruto at the same fucking time. And then, when he absorbs V2 chakra from Killer Bee, he gets his red hair back, signifying that he's at max power, which, remind you, he's not even at max power because he's only close to his original power, because that's how Edo Tensei works, okay? But he's now at max power when it comes to him having red hair and all that shit, right? So, he had 2 nerfs when he's in white hair. Edo Tensei nerf, and not even being at max power with chakra, because that's, you know, his hair is white, whatever, blah, blah. And then he finally, once he absorbs additional chakra, now he's at max power when his hair's red, right? So you correlate that to the passive pains, whatever, they're going to be absolutely fucking cracked and broken. Absolutely. So again, no, you have no way of proving that.
Viable amount of chakra from Killer Bee, possibly putting him at a greater level than he was when he was alive. Once this happens, Nagato starts bullying KCM1 Naruto and Bee kinda badly, while Pain is kinda just on a lower level, like he was going band for band with Sage Naruto and even admitted that Jiraiya was a problem for him. Don't get me wrong, Pain—
So that's not true either. What's it called? Pain was still over Sage Naruto. He just didn't have his Tendo power at that point in time, and he was also fatigued. Remind you, Loko said he's using full power Pain, yet he wants to use a fatigued Pain against Sage Naruto. This motherfucker can't even track his own arguments, bro. It's like he's so desperate to try to establish like a false narrative and utilize sophist tactics, you know what I mean, to paint like us Pain as some fucking Kage victim now out of nowhere. But yet the guy literally like just can't even he can't even track his own shit that he's saying. No wonder why you think you're not even a debater yourself, bro. You're oh my god. Remember, it's canon that Pain can fly, blah, blah, whatever. But, so yeah, but no, overall, like, Pain, again, he would just be relative or equal to Nagato. Again, it's his fucking chakra. It's the only difference is where the chakra is being channeled to. So that's all it is.
Pain is still extremely strong, but whenever Nagato is hopped up on Bee's chakra, he's just in a completely different tier of strength.
So again, that's inaccurate. All that happens is he gets back to his normal fucking tier of strength. Like, the guy is so fucking dumb, bro. And you wanna know what's funny? And even if we grant that, and let's say like he's already at max power, even though it's blatantly shown he's not, his body's fucked still, he has white hair as well, which means his life force and chakra, you know, was depleted, you name it. Even though there's plenty of objective evidence that he's not at full power, but let's say we even grant that, we have no idea like how much of an amp that would even be with 8 tails or whatever. So basically where I'm getting at, like, you know, since we don't have numbers, we don't know what we're working with, whatever, it could just literally make him go from like 100 to 110%, 115%, whatever. You see where I'm getting at, you know, or just a little bit over to where that's why he's just blatantly, you know, above them. But again, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? So even if like we did grant that and took it into consideration, he could just be slightly above, which is why he's shitting on them. And then there you go. And it doesn't really change anything because within that realm of power, he's built like that, right? He still would be within that power, okay? Or, you know, and that's what you're working with, or at least a little bit over, and then there you go. But again, I already said it before, that's when Nagato is at his original power. So
speaking of Sage Naruto versus Pain, I do believe that Naruto did very well against Pain, like he basically one-shot every single path. But the thing is, the reason why Naruto did so well in the first place is because the Diva Path was unable to use its abilities. Now, I've seen a lot of people claim that Pain is extremely nerfed and fatigued after the chaotic Shinra Tensei, and this is true, like Nagato wasn't able to use the Diva Path's abilities for a long ass time. But the thing is, people use this to claim that Pain is so much weaker and slower that Sage Naruto wouldn't even scale to a full power Pain. Honestly, I believe this is entirely unprovable. I don't think you'd be able to prove that Pain got weaker and slower as a result of the chaotic Shinra Tensei. I think you could just come to the conclusion that he lost the abilities of the Diva Path for a short period of time, and that was pretty much the only consequence.
Does this man not know how Naruto works, bro? Does he not understand that when you use chakra and you're fatigued and whatever, it's stated a million times verbatim that you get slower, it's stated so many fucking times, bro, that you get slower and weaker, you name it. Okay, so many fucking times it's stated, bro. Chakra is literally the source of your power. It's the fuel that fucking allows you to just do incredible feats, superhuman, you know, shit, whatever, blah, blah. Like, oh my god. And this is the guy that skills Naruto and tries to make a living on it. Like, I don't get it. Apparently, if you're just spamming Rinnegan abilities, which, remind you, is using enormous amounts of fucking chakra, bro. Even having the 2 eyes itself is an insane amount of fucking chakra and power that you're using as well. Okay, apparently, you know, that just don't mean shit. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Like, Obito tried to use one of them, and he almost lost his fucking mind because it was just so much fucking power. But hey, you got it, bro. You know. The guy is spamming his Rinnegan abilities the entire time, destroying the entire village of Konoha, defeating Jonings, Chunings, low Kage level opponents effortlessly, whatever you name it, then fighting a high Kage level opponent, Sage Mode Naruto, while he's also fatigued, okay? So imagine if he was at full power, it would be a fucking slaughter fest, basically, you know what I mean? But even while he's fatigued with the moment Tendo powers are taken or back, he immediately just shits on Naruto. No diffs him. Immediately fucking shits on him, bro. And then another crazy thing too, if you actually watch the entire fight, he's shown to literally still be equal to the Sage Mode Naruto while fatigued the whole time. It's like, again, Loko, you just make baseless ass fucking claims. You're literally gonna sit here and say that this motherfucker is not slower, weaker, whatever, blah, blah, the whole fucking nine. That's literally how Naruto works when you're using so much fucking chakra. It's called you're fatiguing and getting weaker. We've seen it in Boruto. We've seen it in part 1. We've literally seen it in fucking Shippuden. In part 1, we see with the Sound 4, they go from being Joning, then when they're fatigued or whatever, after using the curse marks, whatever, now they're fucking tuning and getting level, basically. We see it in fucking Shippuden. We see it with Kakashi, you name it. We see it with Pain. We see all kinds of fucking people. We see it with Obito, where he's so fatigued after using the Rinnegan, controlling the Biju, whatever, using Kame and all that shit, to where now he's struggling to fucking Kakashi and Guy, you know, and so on and so forth, and having these Kame the whole fucking nine. Like, I could go on and on and on. Like, it's fucking insane, bro. Like, we even see Sasuke and Naruto, when they're fully fatigued with their 6-path fight, they're literally so fucking slow, they're exhausted, barely breathing, punching, like, bro, like, I don't know. Again, I guess fatigue and exhaustion, you name it, all that just don't matter in Naruto, you know?
Consequence. Even if he did get slower and weaker, I don't think it would be by a large enough margin to actually claim that Sage Naruto wouldn't scale to a full power Pain.
It would, because with all the evidence it would. With how taxing the Rinnegan abilities are, which is stated verbatim several times, with how much chakra it takes to even use only one, with Obito almost losing his mind, so on and so forth. Absolutely, he would be pretty fatigued, bro. He'd be pretty taxed out, man.
Now, I do believe it is
and also fighting an entire military village and slamming them all, remind you, okay? And then destroying the whole village. Pretty sure you're gonna be pretty fucking fatigued.
Equally valid interpretation. You could still make a convincing argument for Pain being slower and weaker here, because Chaotic Shino Tensei does shorten Nagato's lifespan, but at the same time, Nagato only ever makes note of his inability to use the Diva Pass abilities and never says anything about the rest of the Pains getting weaker as a result. Now, I do believe that the main reason why Pain beat Naruto is because he kept on running out of Sage Mode, but they should still be pretty much relative in speed, as Pain was able to react to his kicks and attacks on multiple occasions. Now, I do believe Pain should be able to react to the KCM 1 tier of speed, specifically due to his superiority to the Sannin. My reasoning for this is that the Sannin should be somewhat relative to Old Man Hiruzen, if not slightly inferior to him, and he was considered to be the strongest out of the 5 Kage during his reign as Hokage. Of course, the 3rd and 4th Raikage were also present during Hiruzen's time as Hokage, so this statement should apply to them as well. In order for Hiruzen to be considered stronger than the Raikages, he'd have to at least be able to react to their attacks, which should apply to Pain as well. Now, I've always been under the impression that all 6 paths together are kind of ass. However, I believe that once more and more of the paths are taken down, the remaining ones get stronger as a result of this. It's shown that the Pain's strongest jutsu comes from whenever Nagato is concentrating on one path, specifically the Diva Path. I believe this is why the Diva Path was able to survive the Six Tails for long enough to pull off Chibaku Tensei. I personally don't think Pain is all that impressive when it comes to his physical capabilities, like he should be around the same speed as Sage Naruto while likely having KCM 1 level reactions, but the main source of his power comes from his extremely overpowered hacks abilities. Moving on to the real matchup at hand, Pain versus the former...
So, all I will say with everything that he just fucking dropped, at the end of the day, again, all that's blatantly not the fucking case. Pain would just literally slam all these Kages. He would just be drastically fucking faster, and he would just one-shot them with all the abilities. Whether it's the rods, fucking Shinra Tensei, Chaotic Shinra Tensei, whatever, blah, blah. They're all fucking absolutely getting slammed and slaughtered. Like, I don't want to fucking hear it. The gap between scaling is just massive. And even Loko admitted that they're, what's it called? With, like, you know, the fucking Kages or whatever. There'll be, like, Sonic tier, whatever you name it. Mid-Kage, basically, whatever you name it. Pain is above that. He's literally shown to be blatantly fucking above. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And one thing I do disagree is Hiruzen's not within that level of speed. Like the Raikage and minutes or whatever, so on and so forth. They're blatantly way more faster. It's stated verbatim multiple times. There's feats to also blatantly show that as well. Minato even getting way ahead of them in the battlefield, so on and so forth. Like, when it comes to speed, it's a large discrepancy. So Old Man Hiruzen, he's nowhere near fucking KCM level of fucking speed. Full power KCM or V2 Raikage. He would absolutely get fucking shitted on. Okay? It's not even a competition. Sagema Naruto is way over the Sonic. Tachi's way over the Sonic. Nagato's way over the Sonic. Obito's way over the Sonic. The Passive Pains would also be in the same thing. Like, fucking the Sonics, they're fucking trash in comparison to these people that we're talking about here. So that's blatantly not the case at all. All the other Kages, they're also would be like Sonic tier basically level, like mid Kages. But again, they would get destroyed because of that scaling. You know, they literally lose to shadow clones of Naruto, bro. I think that says enough.
Kage. Now, Pain has a lot of abilities that hard counter the Kage's best jutsu, but as long as we're going in with no intel, he wouldn't know which paths to assign to which Kage right off the bat. At the same time, the former Kage probably won't have the best teamwork. Their nations have been fighting against each other for their entire lives. Hell, Mu and Gengetsu even killed each other. I believe that at the beginning, the former Kage would just go off and do their own thing. They'd be fighting Pain in their own unique ways, using their own jutsu instead of performing combo attacks with each other. Despite their lack of teamwork, I still definitely believe that the former Kage can defeat Pain, and let me explain why. Rasa is probably the weakest person out of the group here, but he still hard counters the Animal Path and all of its summonings. Like I said earlier, he was beating up Shukaku on like a daily basis. These animal summons are going to be no problem for him. Unlike Gaara, Rasa doesn't need to carry around that.
So he wasn't beating him up, he was using hacks and suppression against Shukaku, which was a golden dust, whatever, in order to subdue and defeat it that way. He wasn't just beating it in a full-on brawl fucking battle like the third Raikage was doing to the Eight Tails. So no, that's also incorrect. We literally see consistency in the narrative the entire time that ninjas have to use their hacks or suppression abilities when it comes against the Tail Beast and the Biju because of just how fucking powerful they are. Physically, you name it, chakra, all that shit, right? Look at Madara with Nine Tails. He uses the Sharingan. Hashirama, wood-style suppression. Like, I don't know what the fucking, you know what to tell you, bro. So...
that sand gourd on his back. He can literally pull the gold dust out of his surroundings and use it on his opponents. With his incredibly large supply of gold dust, he can put down and bury all of the summons. Even the chameleon and its invisibility will not be a problem for Rasa because he can track it down with his sand sensing. While Rasa is off slamming the Animal Path, Gengetsu can summon in his clam and cast a Genjutsu over the...
So that's actually incorrect. Rasa wouldn't be able to track the chameleon because for one, it's invisible. You can't see it, whatever, blah, blah. And two, the chameleon doesn't stay on the ground. It always stays like on a wall, a tree, whatever, so on and so forth, you name it. So he wouldn't be able to track it. The only reason why they tracked in the war because they were in a field of sand. So the terrain matters. Okay, so if the chameleon is on the ground, on sand, sure, you could argue that, whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you, that chameleon is fucking fast as fuck. He was able to speed blitz Naruto and shit, like Casey Naruto, you name it, the whole night. So, like, I don't even think it gets hit by the sand. I think it would just move, and there you go, it's fine. Like, with all the summonings, that just helps for crowd control. So they're going to be really fucked in that aspect. And at the end of the day, when it comes to the terrain, that also is important as well. But he didn't really specify what the terrain is going to be. But I'm just saying. So that's blatantly incorrect. In character with the chameleon, what we see, it's never just on the ground. It's always on something, on a wall, whatever you name it. And even if it was, it'd be fast enough to react anyways.
The entire battlefield. This illusion will make the shared visions of the Pains absolutely useless because they'll never know where the real Gengetsu is and he can quietly take them out from the shadows. Now, the Raikage is a very close-range fighter, so his only option is to charge directly at the paths of Pain. The Raikage's blunt force will be hard countered by the Diva Pass abilities, but Pain will soon realize that the Raikage can tank all of the attacks he dishes out. I actually don't think Pain has a single win con against the third Raikage.
Literally, bro, a mighty push full power just solos all of them, especially if it's chaotic, but you could even argue a normal one would just one-shot them all. like, bro, they're getting fucking slammed, bro. Like, this is crazy. Like, bro, like, look at what it did to Sagemo Naruto. That shit was, like, beating his ass. He was like, oh, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, couldn't do shit, whatever you name it. Like, bro, and that's fatigue. Like, they would get fucking slammed. The clam doesn't even matter, whatever, because, he wouldn't even be able to summon. It wouldn't even get that far. Again, they would all just die immediately, whatever. Even if the clan was somehow on the field, again, Nagato could just see it with chakra, whatever you name it. He could literally destroy it, however it means he wants to do it. Fucking, his Renegon could see chakra, you name it too. If any of them are even put under Genjutsu, he could just release it. He literally, like, he controls them, you know what I mean? He could just literally release the Genjutsu. So, like, overall, that's not a problem.
Neither the Diva Pass nor the Ashura Pass ability.
Just saying, the strongest military was no diff with one move. Literally, bro. And that's like tons of jonings, tunings, you know what I mean? Low Kage opponents, you name it. Fucking Sanade, she was mid Kage, and she got like fucking, like, to be fair, she did survive due to the slug covering her in time, but because of her having to expand like all her chakra to protect everybody, like, she was just gassed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was like, she couldn't do anything. Like, she was completely fatigued and gassed, which again, showing that ninjas can get fatigued and tired and then they're done. But even if it was just protecting herself to survive from it, and that's because of the slug is just hacks, like that bitch just, I don't know, just don't get hurt. What's called, the moment she gets out of the slug, she would have just died immediately. It would have been the same fucking thing. It would be Jiraiya all over again, but a million times worse, you know? So, anyways.
Abilities will work on it. The human and the rocket paths won't be able to catch up to the Raikage, they're too slow. But even if they could, the lightning cloak will create a barrier between them. Since they will not be able to make physical contact with the Raikage, they will not be able to pull out his soul. Of course, the Preta Path could try to absorb the Raikage's lightning cloak, but unless the Raikage has already been immobilized, not likely, the Preta Path won't be able to catch up to him either. While all of this is unfolding, Mu will be watching in the background, learning about Pain's abilities and calculating his next move, just waiting to use his Jinton on Pain. When the time comes to use Jinton, Mu will hit his mark. I've already established that Jinton travels faster than KCM1 Naruto does, which—
No, you did it! No, you did it! You lied! You fucking lied! He said that, but then what happens? He gets blitzed! You're a fucking liar! So, no, you did it! We debunked that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. What's it called? All Pain would do? Absorption? More chakra? Yes, thank you. Make me stronger, baby. You know what I mean? Amplify me even further, bro. And guess what? He's taking that chakra and absorbing it, whatever. And either you could argue either that just goes to that path of Pain alone or to Nagato. Either way, I don't really care. But bottom line is he could either absorb it or Shinra Tensei. So, or again, they could just dodge it and move out of the way, because every fucking ninja's been shown to move out of the way and dodge fucking particle style. Anoki could deal with it. You know what I mean? All of them. They could all just dodge that shit, bro. Like, if it was like speed blitzing tiers above speed, bro, Gar would have literally got killed immediately by particle style. You know what I mean? Like, didn't Preta hold back Sage Naruto with no difficulty? Why couldn't he do the same to A? Exactly, yeah, he could do the same.
Pain does not scale to.
While fatigued, that motherfucker was just holding him. He's like, nah, bitch, you're gonna sit here. Fucking
Mu uses Jinton on will immediately die unless it is the Preta path or the Diva path. Even if Mu does use it on these two paths for some reason, he can just use it again. He can spam Jinton as much as he wants because Edo Tensei have infinitely refilling chakras. By now, Pain is going to be spread out pretty thin.
That's another thing. Why the fuck are we doing like Edo Tensei? What is that? You know what I mean? What the fuck is that, bro? This should be alive against the Path of Pains. Like, if you do Edo Tensei, at that point, the only win con Pain technically would have is to just take all their souls, which he could do that, you know what I mean? All he would have to do is he just immediately subdue them all and like one-shot them and then just take their souls out and things like that. So Pain could still win, but that's such a weird-ass thing to do. Like, why are they Edo Tensei, bro? Like, what the fuck?
He needs a Diva path to ward.
Like, sure, let's apply another handicap, and while they have infinite chakra and shit and can try and be able to stay at their max stats more than likely 9 out of 10 times, while Pain is just getting more fatigued. Like, this man's so desperate to try to paint a narrative for them to win.
Off the brute force attacks of the third Raikage, but he also needs to deflect Mu's Jinton at the same time. Meanwhile, Gengetsu and Rasa are going to be taking down the lesser paths of pain very easily. They're still going to be fighting individually, but they don't necessarily need each other just yet. Only the Diva Path can counter Rasa's Sand, but he's already going to be busy fighting the bigger threats like the third Raikage and Mu. None of the other paths are fast enough to escape Rasa's Sand, nor do they have any real counter for it. By now, Rasa has taken out all of the animal summons with little difficulty and has set his targets on the other paths of pain. Meanwhile, the madman Gengetsu is causing absolute mayhem with his Genjutsu and possibly even his Steam Imp. Pain really has no counter to this illusion because he has no way of finding Gengetsu. He can either sneak up on them with his inescapable water pistol, or he can just sick the Steam Imp on him, which will take out a path of pain with a resulting explosion. By now, Pain's numbers have dwindled and the Kage have taken out at least half of the paths. If the Naraka path is still active, I definitely believe Pain would go for the revive, but I see no reason why the Kage wouldn't be able to defeat the path that he brings back. Keep in mind that the Kage are not fatigued at this point. They have endless stamina thanks to the Edo Tensei Jutsu, so they can keep going for as long as they want.
That's actually not true either. We've seen Edo Tensei Ninja be fatigued plenty of fucking times. We've seen Edo Tensei Minato with KCM Cloak on, where he's so fatigued he can't even do Flying Raijin, and we've seen it with other Edo Tensei Ninja, so that's actually blatantly not true. They can get fatigued and low on power, which would also give them the same effects as a normal human being. But, you know, they have to obviously spam it enough, whatever. And then, because once they're in that period of where their chakra is regenerating, you know, then there you go, right? And because it's regenerating and going really quick, that's why they practically have infinite chakra. But no, they can actually do get fatigued. So if they are spamming abilities the whole time, and, you know, you name it, they're going to get low to the point where they eventually won't be able to use chakra. So that's actually not true either. Again, do your fucking homework, Loko.
Undoubtedly, both sides would be very accustomed with their opponent's abilities this late in the game. Pain has seen that the Kage keep coming after him, hitting him harder and harder each time. He's gonna have to be entirely on the defensive, possibly sacrificing other paths for the Diva Path survival. By now, the Naraka path is definitely dead. It's questionable if he would even have been able to get a revive off in the first place, but even if he did, the Kages would immediately realize that he was the one bringing the paths of pain back and kill him immediately. Up until now, I don't think Pain would have been able to take out even a single one of the Kage. They're just too versatile for him. Mu can easily keep his distance by flying away and hitting Pain with long-range Jinton beams. The Raikage is just...
what do they do against fucking Chubaku Tensei, bro? What do they do against Shinra Tensei? Like, or even Chaotic, you know what I mean? All the summonings as diversions, you name it, that allows all the passive pains to move and attack accordingly. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Too fast to be hit, and Pain is going to have a very hard time getting his hands on him.
Pain would literally speed blitz and slam them all. Like, shut up.
So who can have his sand protecting him at all times. As for Gengetsu, Pain has no way of catching him because he will never find the clam. He's just going to be running in circles the whole time. By now, the other 5 paths of Pain are dead, and not a single one of the former Kage has been sealed.
It's not like, you know, Pain could just be like, release Genjutsu, and there you go, it's dealt with. Just saying, you know, to do that, or he could, again, use his Renegon and find where it's at, the chakra, the clam, destroy it that way, you know, like, but hey, you know, what do I know? Like, Inoki was able to find it in guard, but yeah, sure, Pain can't find it either. Just saying. But again, it wouldn't even get that far because Pain would just be slaughtering them all. The moment they're all there and they start to fight and engage, he would just slaughter them. It would be too late. Like,
it is now just the Diva Path facing off against the 4 Edo Kage. He has to resort to his strongest jutsu to defeat them. I don't think Pain would actually use Chaotic Shinra Tensei because he will realize that it will do absolutely nothing to the 4 Edo Kage. They will just regenerate from that. All that's left now is Chubaku Tensei. Pain has to resort to planetary devastation to take down the former Kage. While Chubaku Tensei is technically classified as a ninjutsu, it is also a sealing jutsu, so this is the Diva Path's only win con against the 4 Edo Kage. This is his last chance. Once he uses Chubaku Tensei, he will be too fatigued to keep fighting against the Edo Kage, so he better hope it works. Except it won't. Lord Mu is going to vaporize.
Not for this stream, brother. We're doing...
Going to blast it out of the sky with Jinton. Remember how I said that Chubaku Tensei is classified as a ninjutsu? And even earlier in the video, I said that particle release is stated to be able to destroy any ninjutsu? Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. The orb within Chubaku Tensei is not a black hole. It is stated to be a compressed sphere of very, very dense chakra. It's not like it's an intangible gravity well, it's a thing that physically exists. Naruto, Itachi, and B were able to combine their power together and destroy it. As soon as Mu one-shots the Chubaku Tensei orb, Pain's hopes of defeating the Kage are officially over. Nagato is gonna be coughing up blood because he just used his strongest ability. We've already seen the effect.
Bruh, this man says Moo can destroy Chubaku Tensei, bro. Like, bro, you wanna know what's funny about that? Remember when Madara does, like, his Chubaku Tensei? Now, I understand it's Madara, but either way, he does that, and, like, Inoki is not once, like, he's like, oh, particle style, whatever you name it. Like, instead he has to use, like, his, weight jutsu to, like, lower the weight of it, you know, and things like that, and he's still struggling. Again, Pain is so massively over these motherfuckers, he would literally just do Chubaku Tensei, and there's not a damn thing they could do. Particle style won't do anything, nothing. If anything, you know, what's it called, like, and the problem with Inoki, using, like, the weight boulder jutsu, whatever, that's not even going to do anything either, because at the end of the day, like what's crazy is they're going to be pulled towards it, you know what I mean? It's not like it's just falling down. They're getting pulled, which is even fucking worse, you know? So, Chubaku Tensei would absolutely slam all of them. They would get fucking... you know what I mean? Like, like they're built... Like, they're not fucking Bijus, bro. Like, the fuck?
Chubaku Tensei had on the Diva Path. His performance suffered greatly. Even base Naruto was able to overwhelm him
and that's also not true. That only happened because he was already fucking fatigued, and he continued to get even more tremendously fatigued. And then he also, you know, and that's why everything is happening the way it is. Again, if this is a full fucking power of Pain, he could be able to probably spam Chubaku Tenseis. That wouldn't even be a fucking issue, bro. I'll tell you right now, if it's full power Pain, if we're going stamina and chakra, bro, they're gonna get gassed out way before Nagato's gassed out. The fuck are you on about, Loko? Like, again, this guy can't track his own arguments. We're not talking about a fatigue fucking Pain. We're talking about a full power Pain. Like, this man, like, completely underestimates Uzumaki's, like, stamina and chakra fucking, you know, prowess and whatnot. Like, it was insane what he can do with the feats and whatnot.
Ultimately take him out.
Like, the only one you could argue, in theory, that could be able to, like, give him a run for his money or maybe even be better is, like, the Raikage. But that's it. Like...
Chubaku Tensei didn't work. Pain has no other win cons, no other ceiling jutsu, no way of taking down the former Kage, so they will eventually win. Of course, the scenario could go a little bit differently than what I described, but I still believe the outcome is the same. Pain is defeated without a single Kage going down. I believe Gengetsu and A are very straightforward here. I think that they would do exactly what I said.
Hey, you know, KCM and Sage Mode Shadow Clone victims, you know what I mean? Apparently, that's taking down full power Pain. You know, not even Sage Mode Shadow Clones with Naruto or original full power Sage Mode Naruto could be able to take out a fatigue path of Pain with no Tendo power. You know what I mean? Like, but hey, you got it, bro. You know, you got it. The only time he took out the passive Pains was when they were off guard with the expansion Rising Shuriken and the invisible fucking punch force. You know what I mean? Like, this is a joke, bro. This is such a fucking joke.
Said that they would do. As in, Gengetsu activates his Genjutsu right off the bat, just like he did in the manga, and the third Raikage really has no other option other than to charge directly at Pain. Now, you can argue Mu would end up doing something other than what I described, but I believe Rasa would eventually come to fight the Animal Path just because it's a perfect match for him. He'd realize that he'd be able to take down these summons with very low difficulty because they're nowhere near as strong as the Bijou is. But let me know what you think. Did I change your mind on how strong the former Edo Kage are, or do you still think Pain would slam? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully...
Is fucking Christ. Well, just like that shit, 'cause that was fucking hella ass. But hey, there you go, guys. Another brain dead AIDS fucking performance from Loko. Apparently, the 5 Kage beat this the strongest member in the Akatsuki, aka Pain, you know? I guess Pain just loses to everybody, you know? Kakasu, the 5 Kage, fucking, you know... Unless you're Obito, Sasuke, or Itachi, I guess then you don't lose, you know what I mean? You know, you got to be those 3, but... like, fucking the Pain hate is crazy, man. I don't get it. It is insane, bro. But yeah, that may basically be it for the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Comment your thoughts down below. Subscribe for more content. Subscribe to the channel. Bye, man out. Peace.